Hello. Today I want to take you on a journey. Not just a journey of miles on a track, but the journey and experience of being a first time train rider. Recently, I took a train ride from Virginia to Washington, D.C. for the day to spend time in the nation's capital and to enjoy the African American Museum. Here, I'm just getting on the train. It will depart at 8:30, and they had a few pamphlets behind the seats, but soon we were on our way. There are plenty of trees and plenty of towns to pass through and plenty to see on your ride. I did bring a book, my iPad, and just a couple of things to entertain me along the way because I didn't know what to expect. There were many stops that we had to take along the way. It's not like you just get on and you're going for a straight shot to your destination. We stopped through many small towns. Right now, what you're seeing is part of Richmond, Virginia. These are apartment buildings, businesses, and industrial areas. But the train ride was not expensive. Anyone can do it in a day, probably for under $100 or even less. I rode in coach. When I got in, I found a seat quickly. At the beginning of the ride, there were not a lot of people on, but as you move through and people get on at different stops, it will start to fill up. And you may have to share a seat with someone else, which is not bad. For the most part, in coach, it was somewhat quiet. I saw people getting on with their bikes, their animals, their kids, and it was a really enjoyable ride. No one really bothered anyone. And I can say for the most part, it was pretty quiet. So I just put in my earplugs, listened to some music, maybe a couple of videos on YouTube. I didn't have a problem with the internet along the way. And we were just on our way. And I was really anxious to get to Washington. I knew I wouldn't be there long. I intended to, like I said, just do this for a day. When I got to Washington, it was probably around 12, and we ended up in Union Station. And what you're seeing right now is like the main hall of Union Station. There were people there selling jewelry, clothing, and this is just like the area that everyone crosses through. Between those doors, there are other shops that you can go see. It's really a really nice place to explore. On the second floor, downstairs, they have a food court, so you're able to get food, shop, and they have a waiting area for people who want to just sit and wait for their next ride. But what I did was I went down to the end, which connects into the local trains that go about the city of Washington. And I took a train that got me closer to the African American Museum. And here I am on this escalator moving up, which was a couple blocks from the museum. So I walked a couple of blocks, and here are pictures of some of the exhibits that they had in the museum, which is something I believe everyone should do. It's not a one day type of visit. You're going to have to come here several times. And so, like I said, I just wanted to do a 1 day trip. So here I am back on the train, just stretching my legs out. I ended up in a seat with an area with four seats. But like I said, there were not a lot of people on there. I sat near the toilet and the door where you go in and out of the different cars. There's the other seat, same seating situation that I was sitting in. Everyone had window access, and it was very comfortable. I enjoyed the ride. You have plugs in case you need to charge your tablet or your phone or any other device you may have with you. The seats were relatively comfortable. I'm 6 feet tall, so I had plenty of leg space. And here's another shot of the area. And in a minute, I'll show you there's a little um, push thing on the side of the chair where you can push it in to recline back. I didn't feel like I needed to. Like I said, I was very comfortable. I had plenty of space. When you are sitting in one of the other chairs that's not facing someone, there is a table that drops down from the back of the chair in front of you. So if you want to put a tablet on it, a book, anything that you may want to look at while you're riding, you can do that as well. And there's a little button that you push to recline the seat. The seats, for the most part, they were very clean. I guess if you wanted to bring, some wipes and wipe them down, you could. Here's the table that drops down from the back. And, it sits at a good height. It's not adjustable, so it just, drops down to that one height. And like I said, you can place your food on it, tablet, phone, any reading material. And you can put it back up. The plugs, just in case you need to charge something. And you just push it back up and you turn that little piece right there and it locks it back in place. So I had plenty of leg space. There was plenty of space for me to put my bag. And here we are back at the train station. And a lot of people are getting off. And in front of us, you'll see in a second, the actual terminal for Newport News. And it's not very large, but it is clean. And I found the people there to be very friendly. If I had a question, and I did have a couple of questions when I first arrived, they were very friendly and they directed me to where I needed to go to get onto the train. But it's pretty much just a walk through to get to the train. The train is sitting right there. There aren't multiple trains coming in at one time. It's just one train at a time there at this particular station. But I'm almost at the door. So in a minute, I'm just going to walk through so you can see what it looks like. And again, it is small. But like I said, it serves its purpose. The train was on time, so there really is no need to wait a long time. And like I said, it's nice and clean. And you walk through the other side, and that's where you park. And there are people pulling up to pick up other people, and the parking lot is right there beside it. And if you are actually catching a bus to your next stop as part of your train ride, they direct you to where the buses are, and that's right there. And I'm on my way to my vehicle in the parking lot. So I really did enjoy the train ride. Like I said, it's a nice day trip. It's something you should try if you haven't done it before. But thanks again, and have a good one.